In today's video, I'll be sharing what I think is going to replace Kingda Ka. Hello coaster lovers. So if you aren't living under a rock, you have probably heard that Kingda Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure has been taken out, and it just closed 4 days indefinitely when this video was published. So the world's tallest roller coaster is no more. It really does sting when I think I'll never ride the coaster. It's because it's so iconic and everyone in the coaster community has heard of it, and even the GP. So let's say it got bulldozed. And by the way, the skyline for Great Adventure is not going to be the same after Ka gets torn down. But anyway, there are a few different coasters that I would love to see to replace this iconic coaster. So let's start with the coaster that everyone thought of as soon as they heard that Ka is closing. It is a B&M Giga Coaster. If you remove a big attraction, you have to deliver in every aspect, and a Giga Coaster does that. These type of coasters are equally as iconic as Kingda Ka, and some Giga Coasters are actually better than Ka. It can have quick transitions, a sprawling layout, and an iconic color scheme. I'm imagining something like Fury going here. It just rides along the parking lot, and it can have a turnaround over where Green Lantern is. And there isn't really a Giga Coaster nearby. Surprisingly, Leviathan is the closest Giga you got to Great Adventure, and it's only 8 hours away, so the East Coast could use a Giga, and this is one of the more likely options in this video, and this will be amazing here at Great Adventure. The next coaster we got is a bit random, but a mock hyper coaster would fit so well into Great Adventure's lineup. This is completely different from Nitro on the other side of the park, and this would also be a great spectacle for guests as they walk in. I would like to see something like Hyperia but longer. Hyperia ends too soon, so maybe an extra few elements or airtime hose would be great. Six Flags has worked with mock before with Aquaman, Power Wave, and Copperhead Strike as of recent, so I can see more mock coasters being added to the parks in the future, and this can be one of them. Definitely not as likely as the Giga Coaster, but it would work here. It's completely different from Nitro. For the next coaster, this park needs this type of coaster. It's a Vekoma family coaster. This was a last minute spot because originally it was supposed to be a mock striker like Voltron, but after some consideration, I think a Vekoma family coaster would be a better fit by a slight advantage. If you really think about it, Great Adventure doesn't have a great collection of family coasters, and this would benefit their family coaster lineup a ton. Bear Mountain was so successful over at Dollywood, so we should see one here. This could also work in the Green Lantern plot. But anyway, there isn't one in the area, and we've seen Six Flags work with Vekoma recently with Snoopy Soapbox Racers, so I see them going back to Vekoma and making a similar ride to Big Bear Mountain at Great Adventure. Next up on the list is a ride type that we need more of, a Gerstlauer Hyper Coaster. We have only seen one open, and that is Carnon at Hansa Park, which is shown on screen. I know that the Legacy Six Flags chain swore off working with Gerstlauer. Now that the merger happened, Cedar Fair likes to work with Gerstlauer. They've done hang time over at Knott, and I'm actually kind of surprised they haven't worked with Gerstlauer since 2018. But anyway, Carnon just sprawls over the land it covers, and Great Adventure can do something similar. They could put an indoor lift if they wanted to, and maybe a couple surprises, but I'm not going to spoil them here. But anyway, we need more of these types of coasters out in the coaster world, but I think this model got overshadowed by B&M and Intamin. But there are so many parks that can benefit from a Gerstlauer Hyper, and Great Adventure can be one of them. The fifth coaster we got is a little bit more realistic, and that is with a B&M dive coaster. I'm imagining something like Yukon Striker here. It's because we have seen some dive coasters open as of recent, such as Dr. Diabolical, Iron Menace, and the upcoming Wrath of Rakshasa. And speaking of Iron Menace, the biggest caveat is that Iron Menace is only an hour and a half away from Great Adventure, but Six Flags doesn't give a crap. Both Fiesta Texas and Zero San Antonio have Batman clones, and they're both 30 minutes apart. But anyway, this could feature a beyond vertical drop, tons of inversions, and a great layout. I could definitely see it happen eventually. For the last coaster, it's very similar to a dive. It's basically the cousin to a dive coaster. It's with a wing coaster. There is a gigantic wing coaster in China called Falcon at Wuxi Sunak Land, and I would love to see that type of ride similar to Falcon at Great Adventure. The first thing that comes to my mind on why this makes sense is because they are major eye candy. Wing coasters are one of the most picturesque types of coasters out there, and seeing one at the front of the park would be so cool. Just imagine how Gatekeeper has its keyholes and huge towering elements near the parking lot. They could do the same here, but make it a little bigger. Rapterra over at King's Dominion is about 5 hours away from Great Adventure, and that's the closest wing coaster you got, so they can definitely get away with it and make a big version of Rapterra here. I can also see it happen eventually, and for the rest of these coasters. So I want to hear from you guys, what do you want to replace Kingda Ka? And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, and if you're feeling generous, you can subscribe to the channel. Expect a new video coming out in the next 5 days, so make sure to keep that adrenaline pumping, and thanks for watching.